Good afternoon, everyone. It is just after 1:45 in the afternoon on your Monday, December 1st. Welcome to December. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Kyle Kiel at the 6 News Now desk in the KWQC newsroom with an update on the snow that is now impacting the region once again. This go around, it's more of a lighter snow, but there could still be some slick spots on some roadways, especially after many of us are cleaning out from 7 to as much as 13, almost 14 inches of snow from over the weekend. This snowfall, again, could have an impact on your late afternoon and early evening commute. So let's go ahead and take a look at the road conditions right now. That's that road conditions map that you see on your screen. We'll take that full, and you'll notice that areas basically from, I would say, just south of Maquoketa around Clinton, that Highway 30 corridor, and points to the south. The Iowa and Illinois Department of Transportation offices are reporting some partially covered roads. We've had some more moderate bands of snow move through this afternoon in Henderson County. That's where the DOT is reporting fully covered roads. So 100% snow covered roads here at this point in time. And we'll likely see those road conditions deteriorate here as we head into the afternoon, mainly from Interstate 80 and points to the south. That's where we're expecting the most accumulating snow, which this go around isn't going to be too much. We're talking 1 to 3 inches with maybe some locally higher amounts to the south. So there's a look at the First Alert camera network. We've got the light snow falling. It's reducing visibility just a bit, generally less than 5 miles at times. But notice in Bettendorf, the flag is not waving. We don't have a lot of wind with this. So this is certainly not going to be as impactful as what it was over the weekend, but still could cause a few issues. And yes, you're going to have to break out the snow brushes, maybe the shovels. And I guess if you want to, you can use a snow blower again, but the snow will certainly be lighter in nature. The moisture content inside the snow is going to be a little less than over the weekend, so this will be a little easier to remove. So there's another look at some of the traffic cameras. We've got I-80 at 280 as well as I-80 at Brady and Walcott and the I-74 bridge. Notice the roads are looking a little slushy at this point in time, basically partially covered, which matches up with what we saw on the road conditions map. So we'll continue to see some plows drive through. We saw one in Walcott about 20 minutes or so ago. So we'll continue to see those plows working to clear those roadways, but you can see certainly, especially on I-80 at Brady there, those roads are starting to become a little more snow covered as that snow continues to fly. Kind of looks like a snow globe out there. So our first alert day is going to continue through 10 o'clock tonight for that accumulating snow. Again, we're not expecting anything as far as anything above a half foot like we saw this last go around, but snow accumulations 1 to 3, perhaps 4 inches, certainly going to be a possibility. And again, slippery road conditions could impact that evening commute. So I know some schools got out early today, but if others did not and are planning on having evening activities, just allow yourself plenty of time to get from point A to point B. And obviously, if you're doing any of that traveling, you want to give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination. We don't want to disregard this by any means. You know, a lot of people are saying or probably thinking, oh gosh, you know, we can handle this. It's a lot less than what we saw over the weekend, but a lot of crashes, per the Iowa Department of Transportation, happen when we have these smaller snowfall events, especially if it's generally less than 2 inches, and that's when most of those crashes happen. So don't let your guard down here as we head into the evening hours. The good news is this comes to an end between about 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., and we're not going to see the wind pick up like it did over the weekend, so we shouldn't see any blowing or drifting concerns. So there's a look at First Alert live Doppler radar right now. Again, very light snow. There are some moderate pockets of snowfall out there. We'll take a quick radar tour, and you'll notice that in the Quad Cities metro, yes, in the Quad Cities it is snowing, but that's where our radar site is located there in North Davenport. But we do have some light snow falling, maybe some moderate snow there. From right around Joy and Aledo up through Woodhall, Kelowna, Geneseo. That does appear to be moving off to the north a little bit. So that could be a band where we see a reduction there in visibility. Speaking of Aledo, Connie's asking how much snow in Aledo. We're looking at maybe 2 to 3 inches there in Aledo. A little farther north, the snow is lighter, maybe coming down at a steadier clip there around Clinton, Thompson, Savannah. Some lighter snow there in Milledgeville, and probably some snowflakes starting to fly there up in Maquoketa, Bellevue, up toward Galena and Stockton. So we're going to continue to see this snowfall in the evening. As you can tell from the radar, the lighter snow is certainly going to be off to the north, and the more moderate bands of snow will be a little farther to the south, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Burlington, you're in the thick of the snow right now. Monmouth, Roseville, Galesburg, Knoxville, Galva, Kewanee, even Princeton, Illinois, seeing that steady light snow. So again, we're not looking at heavy snow this go around. just enough to maybe slicken things up a little more than after we just dug out. So there's a wider view here of the satellite, and you can see that this is right now what we call an open wave. So there's no centralized area of low pressure, but what's going to happen as this system moves off to the east this evening, it is going to lead to a strengthening off to our east. So we will likely still be hearing snow in the headlines through the Ohio River Valley and eventually the Northeast. So this storm, as opposed to the last one, will be strengthening once it's east and out of our area. So I suppose that's good news for us, but with this fresh blanket of snow on the ground, it is going to set us up for some big time cold a little bit later this week. Fortunately, it doesn't look too prolonged at this point in time. ExactTrack has a pretty good handle on the snow. Again, it's showing those moderate bands mainly south and east of the Quad Cities. That's going to continue here over the next few hours. Here we are at 5 p.m. as many of you are likely getting home from work or just leaving work. Hometowns, especially on the Illinois side of the river, will still have to deal with that falling snow. Those winds will be out of the southeast, but they're generally going to be less than 10 miles per hour. So this go around, we don't really have to deal with any of the blowing or drifting in those outlying areas like we had to Saturday night into early Sunday morning. We take you through the overnight, and we should dry things out. It will be a cloudy start to the day here on Tuesday. We'll keep those winds out of the southeast. Temperatures still chilly, maybe a couple of flurries from time to time. Could see a few peaks of sunshine a little bit later in the day as well, but watch as we head late Tuesday night into Wednesday. We'll see those clouds thicken, and yes, a cold front is going to move in from the north and west. This could spark a few light snow showers, maybe starting prior to sunrise Wednesday into the early morning hours, probably about mid-morning. The snow showers or flurries should come to an end. Doesn't look like we'll get much in the way of accumulation out of it, maybe a tenth of an inch to perhaps a half inch, but I'll have to see how this plays out. It's an Arctic front, so it's going to come with very little moisture from Canada, as there's no real true water source up there to bring us any moisture. So nonetheless, we will continue to keep an eye on it, but the big story here after that is going to be the cold weather that follows. So we'll get to that in just a moment, but of course a lot of you asking how much snowfall here. A couple comments here on the Facebook asking how much snow in Bettendorf. Kristen wants to know. So you can see generally 2 inches or so, maybe up to 3 inches. I think those 3-inch amounts are likely going to be a little farther south. I think ExactTrack has a really good handle on this. It'll be probably from Keokuk to Burlington, Monmouth, Galesburg, Kewanee, up toward Princeton, Illinois. That's where we're likely going to see more of those 3-inch totals. Could be an isolated 4-inch amount. I think those are going to be more to the south and east as you head towards Springfield and Champaign-Urbana. So the farther north you live, perhaps around an inch around Maquoketa, Bellevue, Galena, Stockton. But it's mainly going to be south of Clinton where we see those higher snowfall totals. And again, it's not a lot of snow, especially coming off that 8 to 12 inches of snow that we had around here over the weekend. As I mentioned, our bigger story is going to be a little bit later in the week. The cold temperatures. It's not going to be a prolonged Arctic blast. That's the good news here. Wind chill shouldn't be too bad here tomorrow nor Wednesday, but once that front moves through Wednesday, those winds turn to the northwest. It is going to be breezy here as we head into Wednesday afternoon through Thursday, so we're talking wind chills likely between 10 and 20 degrees below zero here as we head into Thursday morning. So that's something that we're going to continue to watch here as we head through the day on Thursday. Probably going to go 10, 15 below here as we head into Friday morning as well. So we're going to see that big blast of cold air. I shouldn't say big blast of cold air, but a blast of cold air nonetheless here with that fresh snowpack on the ground as we head into Thursday. And that could be bringing us those feels like temperatures again between 10 and 20 below. So we do have a first alert day out for Thursday morning as well. The kids are out at the bus stop. We'll probably have some school delays and whatnot, but we'll certainly want to cover as much exposed skin as possible because that frostbite can set in pretty quickly here as we head into the day on Thursday. So we're going to continue to watch that for you here as we head over the next couple of days. Looks like a lot of you people not really chiming in here this afternoon. I know a lot of people are, busy with their days, but I'm going to go forward here and, well, there's a preview of the next 7 days. We are tracking again that chance for a couple of snow showers here early Wednesday. I'll see how low those temperatures go Thursday morning, but highs likely only going to be in the low teens. And then this weekend, we are tracking the potential for Perhaps a system that moves in that could bring us a quick hit of snow. Doesn't look like a major storm at this point in time. Still some timing differences, and of course timing differences on those snowfall amounts as well. So we will certainly continue to track that for you here as we head over the next couple of days. But first we got to get through this snow this afternoon. This comes to an end, and then we'll focus on that cold here as we head into Thursday. So looks like we're wrapping up here. Larkin is asking about snow totals in Milan. Generally about 2 inches, I think, in Milan, maybe a little higher than that, up to 3 inches, but no more than 3 inches out of this snowfall event. And again, the farther north you live, the lighter amounts of snow. So as you can see, it's hustle and bustle in the TV6 newsroom behind me. Everyone's getting ready for the 4, 5, and 6 o'clock newscasting, the latest news headlines, the latest update on the First Alert forecast. And be sure, if you haven't already, download the KWQC First Alert weather app, where the weather team will be hard at work updating that here through the afternoon and the evening. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe this afternoon and stay warm.